RCAI and Eagle, 3 things I am telling you. We have already applied. There are certain, because the patent etc. they take long time. These are in 42 categories, and each category we cannot register. We have registered at some certain categories, and even if there is no objection, then we will start writing registered in bracket in this logo. Thereafter we can take any action. Yes, we can take.
Government does only to take business from our people basically.
So we should stop.
Sir, what you should be studying.
I want to bring to the knowledge of the Central Council member that we referred one such case to the institute and we got no reply from them. I think Mr. Puneet has got that thing. And
this is how you can say no such action has been taken.
I don't know, we have not received any.
So, sir, let me tell you, there is a procedure. The procedure of filing a complaint is this: either you give an information case.
No, sir.
Look, please. You have raised a point. Please reply. Let me reply. आपने ये कहा, आपने एक केस इशू में भेजा, आपने वो ऑफिशियल कंप्लेंट फाइल करी नहीं.
It was from the branch.
अरे सर,
it was from the branch and it was duly passed to the branch.
सर मेरी बात सुनो ना लीगल पहले. आपने 2,500 रुपए फीस देके अगर कोई इंफॉर्मेशन भेजी तो आपको उसका रिप्लाई भी आएगा. आपको केस अगर बनेगा तो
branch should not write anything to the.
अरे सर मेरी बात तो पूरी सुन लो.
अगर हमें ब्रांच को भी 2500 रुपया भेज गई इंस्टीट्यूट.
अरे मेरी बात तो सुन लो सर, उसके बाद तो सुनोगे तभी तो बात बनेगी. पूरी तो करने दो. अभी मेरी पूरी जिले पूरी नहीं हुई, आप बीच में होते.
चलो आप पूरी करो.
दूसरा केस क्या होता है? इंफॉर्मेशन केस होता है. इंफॉर्मेशन केस के अंदर आपने केस भेज दिया, इंस्टीट्यूट उसको प्रोसेस करेगा, प्रोसेस करने के बाद नोटिस देगा, नोटिस करने के बाद अगर केस बनेगा तो उसको पूरी पनिशमेंट मिलेगी. अगर आपको ये पता करना है कि उस केस का क्या हुआ, you can write a letter and you can get that information. There is no problem, but you will not get the notice in respect of what is happening in that case. So please do not take to your heart that nothing is going to happen. Each and every complaint which is going to the institute is taking the action. The only thing is this: wherein you are paying a fees, you will get everything, every opportunity. But wherein you are taking this thing that you are not filing in the official capacity, but you are filing as an information case, the information case will be proceeded, but it will not be shared with you because you are not given the proper, as per the act, the proper thing. So please do not. Yes, sir. Yes.
We as the body of the part of the institute,
yes, sir.
I think we have referred in an official capacity. And as if it is not, sir, I am raising this issue because we raised the issue, I don't know. And it just struck me that this was done by the branch.
2 years
right?
8 साल हो गए.
8 साल हो गए. And I would like to ask you and request you that next time you come to the branch yourself, you come with a reply. What happened?
Yes, sir. You give me the copy. You have not brought anything to my knowledge till today. Now today you have brought. I will take it.
Sir, I have to get into the bureaucratic process as a branch member or as a branch. Do I have to get into the bureaucratic processes?
Yes, sir.
Get the things out. Is it the institute that are supreme body you are presenting or not?
सर आप डिटेल दे दो, मैं उसको देखूंगा. आप चिंता मत करो. ये फोरम नहीं है इस टाइम. आप उससे बात कर लेना. I can't say anything on this because I am not invited. Thank you very much. If you have anything, please contact me.
Thank you very much, C.A. Sanjay Agarwal ji. It was really a very enlightened topic which you took up, and I am sure that we will be giving value addition to our clients with the knowledge you have provided. Friends, last month was quite an eventful month for the branch. And in the meantime, I will request the other two members of managing committee of Jalandhar branch, C.A. Margoji and C.A. Ankur, sir, please join us on the dais. Please. Ankurji. So the last month was quite eventful, and I request our worthy chairman, C.A. Puri ji, to share some of the good news and the activities of the branch.
At the outset, I would like to welcome and say thanks to CA Girish Urja ji, CA Sanjay Agarwal, and in advance to CA Ashok Bhadra ji for sparing their such a valuable time and coming over here and enlightening us on the budget proposals. But last month was quite an activity month for our branch. In the month of June, we have organized a seminar on recent changes in ITR forms. We also organized a seminar on financial commands. And then on the eve of CA Day celebration, we organized blood donation camp and flag hoisting ceremony at our branch office. And in our initiatives to organize new kind of programs, we have organized one Hasya Yoga Shivar. It was at Hotel Ramada. This camp was a memorable event and was thoroughly enjoyed by the participants. Yoga Guru Shri Jiten Puri came all the way from Delhi for this event. And everyone present there laughed their way back home. Suddenly I was going to my office, I got a call from one of our senior members over there. He was sitting, अभी बैठे थे, अभी कहीं गए हैं बाहर. तो उन्होंने मेरे को कहा कि इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट में जो हमारा रूम अलॉटेड है सीएस के लिए, उसकी लुक आफ्टर प्रॉपर्ली नहीं हो रही, यू प्लीज लुक आफ्टर द थिंग्स वहाँ पे. एंड अगर वो सुन रहे हैं तो आई वुड टेल हिम कि इट हैज बीन टेकन केयर ऑफ, क्योंकि वहाँ पे अब वर्किंग स्टार्ट हो गई है, एसी इज इन द वर्किंग कंडीशन नाउ. एंड हमने एक कंप्यूटर इंस्टॉल कर दिया वहाँ पे फॉर द कन्वीनियंस ऑफ आवर मेंबर्स, कि जो ऑन द वे अपने ऑफिस से आते हैं इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट में, इन केस कुछ सबमिशंस को चेंज करना है तो उन्हें वापस ऑफिस नहीं जाना पड़ेगा, वहीं पे अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन चेंज करें, अपना प्रिंट निकालें और वहीं पे इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटीज को अपनी सबमिशन दे दें. We at Jalandhar branch made an extensive effort last month for our cherished dream. हमारा ड्रीम क्या है? एक हमारे जलंधर की एक ब्रांच हो, बिल्डिंग हो जहाँ पे हम लोग इकट्ठे हो सकें, not in such type of hotels. तो उसके लिए we have made extensive efforts. Last time we met the officials from municipal corporation, we met the higher officials from Improvement Trust, Jalandhar Development Authority. And it is for your information कि इसके लिए हमें इम्प्रूवमेंट ट्रस्ट ने एक लैंड की अलॉटमेंट की लेटर ऑलरेडी दे दी है. आई थिंक दैट लैंड इज फॉर द रिजर्व प्राइस. इट इज अबाउट 2000 स्क्वायर यार्ड्स ऑफ लैंड एंड उसके लिए आई थिंक इट इज जस्ट अ बिगिनिंग. हमने उसके लिए हमारी एक मीटिंग फिक्स हुई है विद द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट. In the next week, हम उनसे मिलने चाहेंगे to proceed further. And I would like to my special thanks to my managing committee and organizing committee, and with special thanks to my secretaries ये पुनीत उगल who keeps on pushing it इस चीज़ के लिए. अश्विनी जिंदल जी का बहुत सपोर्ट रहा and all the other executive committee members. तो ये बिगनिंग हो गई है हमारी towards the branch building. Let us see how much time it will take. हमारे CC मेंबर सिटिंग मेंबर है हमारे बीच में, तो इनकी हम हेल्प लेंगे आगे भी, इनकी हम हेल्प लेंगे फॉर द बिल्डिंग प्रोसेस. सर इट इज इन सूर्य एनक्लेव मेन रोड पे है और उन्होंने हमें बताया है कि उसके साथ ही इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को भी एक लैंड अलॉट की है. इट विल बी एब्सोल्युटली एडजॉइनिंग टू अवर बिल्डिंग अगर वहाँ पे हमारी बिल्डिंग बनी तो. राइट
मैं ये ऑफिशियली बोल रहा हूँ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, लेकिन इशू में किसी प्रकार की मेल नहीं आनी चाहिए, इसमें कोई घपला है. बाकी कोई दिक्कत
सर ये
बाकी कोई दिक्कत
जैसी डिस्कशन अभी हुई है 2 मिनट पहले, ये हो सकती है,
ये हो सकती है. I
and congratulate the editor of this e-newsletter. Again, it is CA Puneet Dugar who is working very hard on this. And today we shall be releasing this also. हम लोग मैं इनवाइट करता हूँ हमारे गिरीश ओझा जी को, अशोक बत्रा जी को एंड ऑफ कोर्स संजय अग्रवाल जी कि हम उसका इशू रिलीज करेंगे पहला ई-न्यूज़लेटर का। And in the end, I request all of you to please come up with the suggestions to help us improve. Thank you so much for coming over here. Thank you.
Managing committee members to please join us to honor, first of all, CA Girish Ojan.
हाँ जी सर, सामने प्लीज। थैंक यू।
And both of the speakers, they have to proceed forward to Jalandhar. We will be continuing with the service tax part. Ashok Batra is there, and I request the chairman to please honor the other speaker of the day, our worthy chair, member of Channel Council CA Sanjay Agarwal.
Yes.
Now I request CA Ashwin Jindal ji to please propose vote of thanks for the first session.
SRC में भी बहुत बढ़िया पढ़ाते हो, तभी तो जो हमारे फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर जो इनके स्टूडेंट हैं इतनी बढ़िया पढ़ाई की है उन्होंने, ना सिर्फ देश के लिए मोदी जी की सभी बातें उन्होंने मानी। चाहे वो उन्होंने मोदी जी ने कहा था देवालय से पहले शौचालय, वो भी उन्होंने प्रभावशाली दे दिया कि 2019 तक हर जगह पे शौचालय हर घर में होंगे। माँ गंगा की जो सौगंध लाई थी वो भी उन्होंने पूरी कर दी। पंजाब की मैनेजमेंट उन्होंने देखी कि बहुत दूर है, बंदा ले आते हैं हरा देते हैं जेटली जी को, उन्होंने IIM दे दिया पंजाब को। इंडस्ट्री की हालत देखी कि जी FII मांग रहे हैं तो उन्होंने उसके लिए स्पेशल प्रावधान कर दिया कि कोई डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन नहीं होगी। सर ये आपका आशीर्वाद ही है जो जेटली के थ्रू झलक रहा है सभी प्रोविजन के थ्रू कि आपने अच्छी एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड की है और एजुकेशन पे उन्होंने स्पेशल योगदान दिया है कि नए IIT, IIM, मेडिकल कॉलेज, ईच एंड एवरीथिंग। तो वी आर वेरी थैंकफुल टू यू एंड थ्रू यू टू जेटली जी आल्सो कि जितनी चीजें हैं वो एक जो उन्होंने सचिन की सेंचुरी है ना उसने 100 जितनी बार मारे उन्होंने भी 100 इतनी बार मारे बजट में कि मैं भी इतने बूटे लगाऊंगा 100 के आने वाले टाइम में वो पनपते रहेंगे। पूरी सचिन की सेंचुरी को उन्होंने कवर करने की बात कही है इस बजट में। आप देखेंगे इतने 100 है कि सचिन को भी याद आ रहा होगा कि यार मेरे 100 कहीं कंप्लीट ना हो। तो वी आर सर ग्रेटली थैंकफुल टू यू कि आप हमें इतने शॉर्ट नोटिस पे पूरे 4 लेक्चर डिलीवर करने के लिए संडे को भी टाइम निकाल के आए हैं, जबकि आपने ला भी बढ़ा दिया, घर जाके प्रॉब्लम भी हो सकती है और घर से आपको फोन भी आ जाते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। वी आर आल्सो थैंकफुल टू संजय जी। संजय जी ने बजट से हट के बड़ी बड़ी चीज़ें बताई हैं, बहुत बढ़िया बढ़िया चीज़ें बताई हैं। अब मैं तो उनको यही कहूँगा कि जलंधर वाले डेवलप हो कहीं ऐसे ना सेंट्रल काउंसिल मेंबर ही फर्में खोल ले जाते तो सर फर्में मत अलाउड करना ब्रांच ऑफिस, हमें यही करने देना काम। थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपने बहुत अच्छा गाइडेंस किया इकोनॉमी पे। आप WTO एंड कमर्शियल लॉ कमेटी के मेंबर हैं तो आप भी पोस्ट बजट में कोई हो कि जितने भी गिरीश जी ने चीज़ें बताई हैं वो आप पोस्ट बजट में इंस्टीट्यूट की तरफ से इंक्लूड करें और ये एक पॉजिटिव रिस्पॉन्स है कि गिरीश जी को पकड़ें और उनको कहें कि ये मॉडिफाई भी करो। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। हैज टू लीव फॉर द
Friends, as you all know that service tax day in day out is becoming very important as far as the practice area is concerned. and there has been a lot of changes this year also with regard to service tax. And who else can be a better speaker than none other than C.A. Ashok Batra ji. So may I present before you with a new avatar, a corporate avatar, C.A. Ashok Batra ji.
Good afternoon, friends. I must use the word in absentia because most of the diocese is very now. Sri Shojaji, Sanjay Agarwal, Chairman Mr. Puri, Vice Chairman Mr. Inderjeet Singh, Secretary Mr. Dugal, respected senior members, professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Girish Ahuja might not have criticized the budget, but according to me, if you look at the indirect tax part of it, the way the businessman is innovative in saving the taxes, the government has been very, very innovative, extract the taxes from the public. After the implementation of negative discharge, there are only 17 items. Out of those 17 items, 19 exemptions are only to the government, RBI, diplomatic mission, etc. Just 6 entries were there for the public at large, and just triggered with the 2 entries in the and he realizes that in exemption notification, there were 39 entries, he has triggered with 11 entries. Wherever he has brought clarity to the law, it will always result in more revenue to the government. Look into the fact that most of the activities have already been brought to service tax. What he has done, kindly look at it. The rate of interest has been increased from 18% to 30%. Penalty under section 78 has been made mandatory, and if you have captured the revenue correctly, 50% is the penalty which is liable to be paid. And if that revenue is not being recorded in the books of account, then 100% the tax ought to be paid with the penalty, which is again made mandatory. The matter doesn't stop here. He has recasted the whole section 35A applicable to excise law. But then because by virtue of section 83 made applicable to service tax also, and now compulsory extraction of 7.5% of the tax or penalty, 15% of the tax amount at the first appeal, and 10% tax or penalty, 20% of the tax amount at second stage. I am really surprised the way these innovations have been brought into, look into the fact that subject matter is not there, it is already being taxed. Once I was going through the budget, it really recalled me one very important judgment of Punjab and High Court in the case of Shuk Steel Limited. When a question is being argued before the Honorable Court, sir, I earn 100 rupees from the commercial renting. This 100 rupees subject to income tax, of course subject to reduction under section 24. And I pay almost 20 to 22% as income tax. The same receipt which is being treated as income in the hands of one assessee, it becomes indirect tax, it becomes a services receipt in the hands of the assessee, whereas both the taxes being levied and administered by the same government union. And once that is there, is liable to pay 12.36%. Is it not a classic case where a particular amount is subject to direct tax also, subject to indirect tax also, subject to the higher rate? Then the Honorable Court replied to it, once Constitution has given the mandate to the central government to levy a tax as direct and indirect tax receipt both, they are being debarred from collecting the revenue only in one situation, when that item is finding place in the state list and Schedule 7 of the Constitution. It is for the government to decide how much burden is to be put on the assessors. When I deal with the statutory provision, of course normally I deal with the classification of services which are the provisions which have become taxable from 11th July, that is therefore yesterday. Then provisions which will come into effect from the date of enactment after notification and from 1st October. This time I am reversing the trend. I will first deal with the provisions which will come into effect the day when the bill will be enacted, and kindly look at these provisions, what a grave danger, what a grave injury has been caused to these statutory provisions. First such change in the section which is being proposed is change in the section of 73. I thought at least this is first change which seems to be good for the assessee and the department has been brought into. But once I was looking at the language, I was surprised. It appears to be a very pragmatic amendment, but without any teeth, without any implication. Sir, Section 73 is the section which is there in the Finance Act wherever any service tax has not been paid or has been short paid or any amount has been erroneously claimed as refund, they have to serve a show cause notice. The notice can be served from 12 onwards within 18 months from the relevant date, and if that non-payment, short payment, etc. is due to fraud, collusion, willful misstatement, suppression of fact, and non-compliance of provision with the intent to evade service tax, then this period gets extended to 5 years from the relevant date. There was a time limit for the issue of the show cause notice, and we have been demanding from the government, like income tax, there is a time limit for the issuance of notice under Section 142. Then there is a time limit for completing the assessment also. The same kind of discipline must be brought to the service tax also. There must be some limit fixed for the purpose of adjudication of the orders. I am using the word adjudication because this is the term which is being used in central excise and service tax and custom. Do you know what is the difference between the two, assessment and adjudication? When an income tax officer serves you a notice under Section 143(2), he is only having a computation of income in the financial statements. He raises the query, he replies those queries sitting in the room, and then ultimately he makes a judgment looking to your responses, what is the value which should be assessed. But in service tax law, first of all your inquiry notice will come. You will respond to that inquiry notice, then they will say reconcile with your financial statement. You will say I am giving this financial statement, I am not paying the tax for the difference amount because of this interpretation. They will say your interpretation is not correct, or maybe they don't agree with that. You will quote the case law, they will counter-quote the case law, either distinguish your case or they say it is not applicable to you. And then they will serve you show cause notice, making part of the document which you have submitted as relied upon document as part of the show cause notice. And sometimes they are so smart, any agreement which contains terms which are not favorable to you, they reproduce the show cause notice so that you don't have an opportunity to replace those agreements also. And once that notice is being issued, your statement is being recorded to supplement that this man was doing this evasion of tax intentionally so that the penalties can also be levied, and then show cause notice is being issued. So obviously show cause notice is a provisional assessment. Most of the time we all understand 90% cases it goes against the assessee, unlike income tax the 90% cases goes in your favor. I am giving you this background because it will be necessary to understand this when we read the other provisions. So now, what is the amendment which is being proposed? If a notice has been issued under the normal period, that is 18 months, then the adjudicating authority should try to complete the adjudication proceeding within 6 months from the date of show cause notice with a very huge phrase, wherever it is possible to do so. सर हिंदुस्तान में तो बिना कंपल्शन के कुछ होता नहीं. आप अभी अनाउंसमेंट कर रहे थे गाड़ियों के नंबर, आप 1 मिनट में कहोगे गाड़ियों के टायर पंचर हो जाएंगे, सब हफ्ते हो जाएंगे. So wherever it is possible to do so, that is it doesn't have any teeth, it is not mandatory on them, it is only directory. Similarly, if the notice has been issued by invoking the extended period due to audit, then that adjudication has to be completed within 1 year from the date of issuance of a show cause notice, wherever it is possible to do so. Kindly understand the proposed amendment. Anyway, I'll say something is better than nothing, and there is nothing which is being harmed to the assessee. Now I'm coming to the next amendment, which is going to cause a huge money to the assessees and a menace for the professionals. I'm talking about Section 80. Friends, those who are dealing in service tax, they know Section 8 is analogous to Section 276 of the Income Tax Act, where no penalty is liable if there is a reasonable cause. Earlier on, the section used to read, there should not be levied any penalty under Section 76, 77 or 78 if there is a reasonable cause. This section was diluted on 8 April 2011 when the department says there can be two kinds of evasion. One, where I am providing a service and I am not recording the revenue in my books of account. That is a clear-cut case of intentional default. So reasonable cause shall not apply here. So on 8 April 2011, what they did, they omitted the reference to 78 fully, but they mentioned subject to proviso to Section 78 subclause 1. Meaning thereby, where you have not paid the tax due to interpretation, etc., your intention is not met and your revenue has been recorded, wherein the penalty leviable was 50% of the tax ought to be weighted maximum, but that was also subject to reasonable cause. Now the reference to that clause has been deleted. What does it mean? It is very clear, wherever the extended period has been confirmed by the adjudicating authority or the appellate authority or the court, you have no option to contest the penalty, that becomes automatic. 100% was already automatic. Now even if you recorded the revenue, that 50% has also become automatic. So realize, understand the kind of money, because in penal clauses we all understand. If you go to Section 78, it says if you pay the tax and interest within 30 days at 25% the penalty, then your proceeding under 78 needs to have been completed. That provision is not being triggered with. But in case I contest the penalty, it is liable. Now whether penalty is deterrent in nature or is a source of revenue for the government. Honorable Supreme Court in the landmark judgment of Review of Processor said, taxes if leviable has to be collected. Arshad Mehta case, 5,000 crore demand, if you are not able to pay, then it can be written off, the demand will be created. Interest is always compensatory in nature. What is compensation? It should never be more than the market rate. And it should be based on the principal equity, because it is only a compensatory, it is automatic. Now look at the proposition. Interest. When I don't get my refund beyond the period of 3 days and the default is not mine, 3 year gestation period for the government, and thereafter if the delay is not attributable to my part, then only they pay me interest, and at which rate? 6%. And now what is the proposal which is applicable from 1st October 2014? For first 6 months it is 18%, 6 months up to 1 year 24%. And thereafter 30%. And once the show cause notice is being issued for 5 years and your demand starts from the day 1. So for 4 years, 120% tax, 50% is the minimum penalty which will get confirmed. Because you might have recorded the revenue, and most of the cases it is not being recorded, newspaper will be found that 100% of the tax ought to be evaded. And then 120% as interest. So that means a demand of 12 rupees will become 12 plus 12 plus 15. 40 rupees demand will be there. A person whose net profit is only 3 to 4%, if he is asked to pay 40% of the demand on the gross revenue, because service tax on the gross revenue, I am sure he has to sell his business, there is no other way around. I really fail to understand. Can the penalty be automatic in any case? You read any Supreme Court judgment after the budget, I was busy throughout the night of writing this book, which is being released today, and then thereafter next day my sister, there was a judgment at my sister's place, I couldn't sleep. But even then I find 2 to 3 hours to look at the Supreme Court judgments, and according to my understanding, I could not lay down even a single judgment which says penalty is automatic and you can levy the penalty where there is no intention of it. I could find 10 judgments which says merely non-payment of service tax shall not attract the penalty, or non-payment of income tax shall not attract the penalty. It has to be with the intention to be mala fide intention is a mentioned sine qua non for the imposition of penalty. Tomorrow if somebody says 271 penalty is mandatory, I don't know how will you react to that. This is what it has happened in service law now. 78 is analogous to 271 1C. that is being made mandatory? Can there be any other draconian provision like this? The matter doesn't end here. Then the next amendment has been made in section 82. Last year, of course, 2011 was the year when the prosecution was being introduced in service tax law. In 2013, they gave a power to arrest the service tax assessees wherever he has collected more than 50 lakh and failed to divulge to the government beyond 6 months. And there were 3 other grounds. But they are the authorities who will use the provision whenever it is being enacted very rigorously. And all of us understand how many arrests have been made in this country so far as service tax law is concerned in a period of May 13 to